Hi, I am Raffaele, and this is the demo for Node.JS to .NET Core interoperability. The project is called xcore and is a new plugin that I just created and I want to show you. It's an exciting time for me. Let's see it. So basically we are talking Node.js and JavaScript in conjunction with .NET. And what did I do for what I created for this? Basically, I created a plugin that is called xcore, and you can see the require function that is loading using bindings. Then this native plugin written in C++. You can see inside can see some kind of initialization, and also we load and map this class that is order manager. Order manager is defined here, so we have a simple class with no hassles, there is nothing specific, there is no attributes, you don't have to derive from any other classes, you don't have any kind of requirements in your assembly, and you can create an instance of this order manager using, for example, this property, and then create another instance, and then we just print the two properties. Let's see. So node x constructors x vectors, okay, and we have the two instances with the two console log. It looks very basic, and it is, but the important thing that is that it is simple. So we have instances, we have properties. What's the stuff inside the initialize? Here is debugging stuff that I am using currently in my demo, and is the only path that I need to know where the stuff is. So I then load this user assembly, let's say, so the sample library where the order manager lies, and then the sample library initializer is an optional stuff that you can inform .NET that some kind of initialization is going to happen. I don't really need this at this point, but it's just to show you that it's possible to initialize and inform the .NET stuff on this. So that's the very basic, but let's go to properties. Let's say that I want to print and use properties with getter and setter and so on. So I create an order manager, I initialize the name here, so I already have the name that is good here, and then another constructor that has no parameters, so there is nothing here, and then I just set the name on the other side. Very basic, even this one, and xprops, and you can see that the second one has a value just at the moment where I have OEM to name equal name. So that's it. Very basic. So let's go to something more interesting, that is methods. I can execute methods, and for this purpose I have this time the calculator class. Let's see the calculator class. It's another plain class from .NET that is very simple. So has a method, as this first version of the add method is without overloads, and then I have the add with the int overload and the string overload. So very simple, but the overloads makes a difference because you have to resolve them, and we know that JavaScript is dynamic, and so we have a few things to do to resolve the overloads. So how can we use that? Simple. So once you have an instance, you just call the the methods, no matter if they are numbers, integers, and so on. And finally, we print the toString that we can use it too. And then allora node x methods, and here we are. We have 5, hello world, and calculator class. So basically extremely simple. So this is demonstrating that the plugin makes it very easy to use .NET from JavaScript. But we can do even more complex things that required me a lot of work, and is async. Async, basically, I am still on the calculator class, but okay, I can use this method that is the simple one that we have seen before. But I can also use these other two methods that have overloads, but they also returns the task of integer and task of string. This means that there is a delay, and we know from .NET that this await caused the compiler to do a lot of magic, and the execution is splitted back in a callback. So there is the real code behind this is very different, and we want the execution to be asynchronous. Otherwise, during this second, Node would be stuck, and this is extremely wrong. So the first option is to execute the two async calls in a synchronous fashion, but forgetting the result, because this add async is really a void function, so there is no console log that can print anything here, because at the moment of the execution we still don't have the result. The same is true for this one. So we are forgetting what is coming back. But then we have the hello world and the hello ref with an additional parameter that is the successful return. So we receive the result back after a while, after 1 second, that we have seen in .NET, and the result is printed here in the callback, and the same apply here. So we have a synchronous execution, then two asynchronous execution where we will never see the result, and then other two execution where we will print the result as soon as it is available. And finally, the print of a message that is very interesting, because give us the opportunity to understand what is happening during that time. So we have 5 because it's executed synchronously. Then end of the program, because the program just reached the end of our source code, but there is still something that still have to execute. And so we have the result is result is hello world, and the result is hello ref, that is executed after we reach the end of the program. And if we repeat again the execution, you can see that the program is not concluding. It's not that the process is not terminating. Why? Because I expressly said to the libuv library that used from Node that I want to wait for some result, and so I don't want the execution terminates before I receive the result from .NET. And once the result is received, the libuv is informed, and finally we can terminate the program. So this is much trickier, but as you can see, it's extremely easy, and you can use the promise pattern, you can use the lambda, you can use whatever you want. So that's extremely exciting to have such a clean code when doing interoperability stuff. Extremely good. So what's come next? There are collections. Collections are good because if we want to use it, for example, in a view model, and we will see in a moment why I'm talking about view model, the order manager have a nice, cool collection inside it. So let's go back to the order manager. The order manager has a couple of constructors. As you can see, we already used the one with name and the other one without. and also initialize at initialization time we have the order that is empty, so 0 orders, and then later we can execute the load orders, and the load orders just create 20 instances of the order class that is initialized with the number and total quantity. The quantity is I multiply 1000. So what's inside the order? So if we go to the order, it's very simple. Again, even this class is very simple, with a simple constructor, name, quantity, and string method. So if we go back and we say we want to use it from .NET, from JavaScript, I say, is I just need to, the first important thing is that I just need to load the order manager. There is no load class for the order. That's important. Then I create the instance. I just print the toString methods. Then I create again the load orders. Okay, so I load the orders, the 20 orders, and then I use the for syntax to cycle the elements, to walk the tree, because when I take the order here, I am walking the graph of the objects. So I am accessing with the orders. I am taking the element indexed by I, sorry, in Italian is E, and then I take the name. So I walk at the path. And the important thing is that when I reach the order, the mapping happens automatically. So if you reach a new object that you didn't map before, it happens automatically. Let's see what means. So clear screen is collections, and here we are. So we printed the first with 0 orders, then after the load orders we printed again, and there are 20 orders, and then I use the for, and I print the 20 items. So this is extremely interesting, because using collection means using list of t, and at runtime that t will become list of order, and that's a lot of work behind in the plugin for this. The next interesting thing is the events. Events are again very interesting, because there are magics that happens there. The order manager is the class that we are still using for this, and as you may have noticed, there is a timer here. What is special about this timer? This timer is a threading timer. So this means that the callback is initialized during initialization time, and sorry, there is a timer callback that happens every second, and is periodic. And when the execution comes here, the callback is executed from a different thread. And then again, this is very important, because we can never execute JavaScript code, the one that I want to execute under the event, from a thread that is different than the one that Node.JS created at the beginning. So we have to do some magic. This is the first important thing. The second is that we are using this nice syntax for C# that avoids to have a null reference exception when the order ready is not subscribed by anyone. Then with the syntax for the event handler is that we will receive something that is sender object, and this is an object. We pass this instance, of course, but is an object, and the event tags. This object is an important thing, because the type of the compilation time is object, but at runtime we will have an order manager. And this difference is again important when we map the stuff inside the xcore plugin. So what happens? We create the order manager, then we load the orders, and then console log. I print an hash that is a kind of signature of the event, the function that is being subscribed, is this one. And then also I added by design on the order manager a method that didn't exist, that is add event handler. This is a method that I added on purpose to subscribe the events, and the name of the event is order ready, and I have then the function to manage, to handle the event. So what happens? The function receive the timer calls one time every second. Every time it removes an order from the 20 that we loaded before, and finally we print the sender, the order manager name. But this is an object. How is it possible to put .name to an object? Even if we are on JavaScript, we are dynamic, we don't. This is very familiar for a JavaScript developer. When we change the call to .NET, the things are very different. So we have to know exactly what happens here. And then I don't want to just try to execute anything that the user is going to put me here, because it will be a mess. I want to stop the invocation in my plugin as soon as possible. I don't want to propagate all the possible calls to .NET. That's important from a performance profile, to find errors, to check the signatures, and so on. So it's not just on try and go. No, this is not the correct way to do it. And the arguments, okay, that is fine. So what happens here is that I have to deal with the downcast. And so I am aware of the runtime type that is using this stuff, and I don't even need the casting that will be cumbersome in JavaScript, because I can just use this, and it's legal. As soon as the number 4 reaches 0, we unsubscribe the event. So let's see what happens. At the execution time, I print the hash, that is the special number that I can use to unsubscribe. I loaded a number of 20 orders. Every time I decrease the number of orders that I have with me, and I print the number of seconds, if I recall correctly. So it was seconds 47, 47, 48, 49. And again, the program does not terminate until I unsubscribed the event, because I inform the xcore plugin, inform libuv, that the program is not should not conclude until all the events are correctly unsubscribed. This is very important, and happens specifically because I wanted this behavior. There is still this other example that I believe is very interesting, that uses the quotes class. The quotes class is very simple, has a dictionary int string that is populated with a few quotes, famous quotes. There is the count and the indexer. The indexer is important in JavaScript. It is used very often, so I wanted to map also this one, and it took me some time, but I finally could do it. And it's important that the indexer, the only valid is an integer, because in JavaScript the indexer with the string, they look for the property of the class, unless you do fancy stuff with prototypes and so on, you really obtain this is a different behavior, expected behavior. So the only indexer possible is with the integer, and node x indexer. I execute and I obtain the list of the quotes that I mapped inside. And I want to show you even really another premiere of this stuff, because if let's say I want to use this stuff in a graphical environment, what should I do? Well, I created also a special compilation because it's very different. I also left the debugging stuff open because, as you see, there are a lot of things that I am still working on this side. This is an Electron application. Electron is a nice framework that can be used to create a desktop application for Windows, for Linux, and for Macintosh using technologies that are widely used normally on the web. So basically, this is HTML, Angular 2, JavaScript, or better, it's TypeScript. That is far better from the developer point of view, and my plugin finally. So what do I have here? I have a view model written in C#, and this view model is basically it allows you to give to act as a source for the quotes that we already printed a few seconds ago on the print screen, on the console. And that's interesting. I want to show not just the logging, that is not very interesting, but a bit of the code of the Electron application that is very, very basic. I'm still working on, and this is what I am going. So this was compiled with this template, not this one that you are seeing here. I am doing a lot of experiments at the moment, so this is a very really a super preview. And as you can see, I have the hello component, and among the other thing, I am printing the items, and the orders is just an array. I have still work to do to make it even better, but I want to give you a preview of the possible application that this nice work plugin is giving me a lot of satisfaction. You can feel from my voice the excitement is not just a regular speech or recording. Is something that I am really excited, just almost ready for my birthday, and I am very happy for this. So I hope you enjoy this, and for your info, if you want to give me feedback, you can go in the issues of xcore, or contact me via Twitter. On mail, I am very busy. I hope to find time to answer, but basically I'm trying to go primarily on GitHub and Twitter. But let me know if you are interested. Write me also an email. I will, before or later, I hope to be very fast in answering. And I don't have the feeling how much could be useful to others. I feel that is good, but let's see. Temporarily, the bits are still not available, but who knows? Let's see how is the response from the community. Thank you, and bye bye.